designed to spread the message through. And it don't care if me redeem does have people jumping and prancing to tell me go out and sing something inspiring. To let the people know that they're selling on because of destruction. Hey, hey, yo, we got to steer this garden ship to the right direction. Hey, hey, yo, from the mountain to the horizon, I'm tired of seeing the victims of men, women, and children suffering in the system. Go tell them I say turn back and take the next track. Ooh, na na na. Ya ba la ba la ba la ba la ba la ba lim de bamba woy. He said, look, big powers decline. That's the signs of the end of time. So go tell the nation that the system going to combine. Try to change the constitution the way they want people to be governed. Diplomatic bandits on the edge to fail. You better watch your tail. More people they want to nail. Won't believe it but it's real. How they making people feel that they have a special license to kill. So let the people know that they're selling on because of destruction. Hey, hey, yo, we got to steer this garden ship to the right direction. Hey, hey, yo, not just vanity, universally luxury now. No, it's the nature of what you stand for, which would never fall. Would have you going strong, standing firm like a wall. Forget about politician, let's create our own unification. We don't have to let the system lead us astray. For the master say, where there is a will, there is a way. We got to have an aim and a culture of our own. Something to be identified by and not to be thrown. The sorrows and the pain and all the frustration in the youths is what the system has to contribute. So educate the youths, let them be themselves, not no imitation. Hey, hey, yo, this modern day generation need a new direction. Hey, hey, yo, we can only teach we children the history of Columbus and Francis Drake. We got to teach them about the civilization from which we originate. Pick up the book of love and put down the book of hate. Pick up the book of love and put down the book of hate.
One people, one journey, one future is all we. Yeah, is all our way. As I to say, let me tell you about my country. My country is so dear to me. Established in the 14th centuries, colonized in the 18th centuries. Independence 74, Grenada had freedom for so. That's the list of Eric, Gary, Entity, and Mary Shaw. Some call the Camahan, some call the Conception Island, others call the La Grenada. We call the Grenada. That's the name we truly prefer. Together we'll build a spire. Together build advance. That's the motto of my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland. Grenada, 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 Grenada. 'Cause there is no island in the world, no place that you'd rather be than right here in my country. I'm telling you so, all over the world, no place that you'd rather be than right here in my country. Have you seen no waterfalls? Sight to see, beauty for all. With our wet and sandy beaches, number one and free for all. Have you seen no water sculptures? Welcome to the lakes of wonders, mountain high and fireside. You will always meet a smile. Face and race don't matter to we. Hearts and hands help build this country. This is home, welcome to my place. Rain or shine, it's plenty niceness. That's the place we truly prefer. Together we'll build a spire. Together build advance. That's the motto of my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland. Grenada, 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 Grenada. 'Cause there is no island in the world, no place that you'd rather be than right here in my country. I'm telling you so, all over the world, no place that you'd rather be than right here in my country. Masterclass experience to see. One people, we on one journey. Head up high, walking with pride. Future bright, let's take full flight. Many trials we've encountered. All is one breaking down barriers. Grenada, the land of spice. No retreat like this paradise. 3 islands, one guarantee. Once a year, you won't want to leave. Take a walk or take a drive. Safest place you'll be in life. For this land, I'm singing this song. On the side is where I belong. Together, build advance. That's the motto of my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland, my land, my sweet homeland. Grenada, Grenada, Grenada. Together building a fire, together taking it higher is all our way. A sight to say. Together building a fire, together taking it higher is all our way. A sight to say.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points.
Man, there is a place that is under the sun. 130 23 square miles.
And of course, we're live at 91.9, 91.5 Real FM, 94.9 out there in Brooklyn, We Noise Radio, 92.9 Sister Isle Radio.
People don't know.
And we are live via YouTube and via Facebook.
I love spice. So in 1974, Uncle Gary fought for so. That is when.
Yes, it is Talking Tuesdays. Tonight we will be speaking with my good friend, Mr. Alvin Dabrio. Got to make contact with him in a short while.
So we could be proud like Trinidad. Gary came back from England. That day was liberation. He brought back the ice, gold and green flag. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. To my little country. To my little country. Now won't you join with me and sing this melody? We celebrating 50. Let us live in unity. Put away political party. Even the blind could see. This year is history. Our golden jubilee. Now I know there was a time under the British rule. Grenada was still.
Yes, I know one or two people are asking me what's up with the program tonight. Yeah, we started a bit later, got into studio a bit late.
Man footstool. Thank God we Uncle Gary.
Slight issue getting into the studio tonight, but I'm here.
The man, the creators come. He fought to preserve my heritage. He made the whole sky turn red with very little bloodshed. That is when we turn a brand new page. Equal rights was what we want. That was very important for we to uplift our standard. Black people was not relevant. We could not even walk in pant. Now that part of we history revamp. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. To my little country. To my little country. Now won't you join with me and sing this melody? We celebrating 50. Let us live in unity.
And of course, we've got a lot to speak about in relation to St. John tonight, and so we will be joined by Mr. Alvin Dabrio in a little bit.
This year is history.
As I said, just making contact with him.
Have the opinion that we are not independent, and in many ways you are not wrong. But we must have sustenance, not to mention some brilliance, in order for us to move along. Everybody needs someone, no matter your reputation. Sometimes we all need a helping hand. No man is an.
Right, folks, let me just make sure Brother Dabrio is hearing me. Brother Dabrio, can you? Oh, come on. What's the matter with this? Let me just make sure I get it properly here.
It's time for you stand proud. We have to articulate. We are an independent state. Now to the whole world we singing loud.
Yeah, I think he should be hearing me now. Brother Dabrio, are you hearing me? Hello? Oh, I see what's happening now. Yes, Brother Dabrio, can you hear me now?
Yes, I could hear you now.
All right, wonderful. Let me just bring you up full screen here so that the folks would be able to see you from the studio. Yes, let's bring you up on screen here. So, folks, we have on with us tonight Brother Alvin Dabrio. Yes, the man from St. John. Good night to you, sir.
Good night, good night.
Yes,
and good night to all the listeners.
Yes, I'm saying live from St. John, but I didn't find that you're St. John in tonight.
You know, I am working in Carriacou, so I'm calling you from Carriacou.
All right, beautiful, man. Beautiful Carriacou. I know you're enjoying yourself out there. One thing, Carriacou is beautiful to live and work in.
Yes, nice place.
Yes,
But,
indeed. Brother Dabrio, let's get right into it. I want to speak a bit about St. John and some of the things that have been taking place in St. John over the past 19 months and some days. What has been taking place in St. John? How do you rate what has been taking place within the constituency of St. John within the last 19 months?
Well, we have a MP that's missing in action. She is not giving the service that the people expect. As a matter of fact, she's hardly in office, and you have to make an appointment to see her. And I think it's only 4 hours a day that
just
you could
4?
make that, not per day, per week.
Wow.
Just 4 hours, yeah, that you could get your appointment. And because she is always out, people telling me that they just can't get to see her. So they still coming to me to see if I can help. So it's a sad state of affairs in terms of that, the representation that we are receiving there. The health system is in shambles. In the campaign, she said that Guav would have 24-hour health service. Well, we're still waiting on that pie in the sky. And her leader said that all health centers around the island would be open, at least one in every parish should be open 24 hours a day with a pharmacy opened. We're still also waiting for that pie in the sky so that we could reach it. And similar to the statement that he made that I found to be very nonsensical, where he's talking about bucket truck going and shake down fruit trees so you could have fruit on your table. Because when the people finish at 4 or 5, well, we know it's an illusion. But even before you open your mouth and say that, if the people finish at 5, where would you get light to go by the time you get on the farm? And if you had to go back up to Sotes to shake down a mango tree, it's going to be dark. So I don't know what he had in mind when he came up with that. But that's the pie in the sky that we've been getting from them. So we just can't see the reality at all. People are still waiting. There's quite a number of people that told me, Mr. Dabrio, well, I voted for her because she promised to put me on the seed, and I'm still waiting. It can't happen. Well, I would tell them that you would have a long wait because it's not going to happen, because it's not her that decides who gets on the program. The program is it's a World Bank program in which part is grant and part is loans. But the criteria they use is set by the World Bank. And if you use this criteria, there is very few people that could qualify. And you can't just put people on the program so. But there again, that's how they were during the campaign. They criticize everybody that were in government and the people that were working in the seed program for doing a good job and promising what they would do. And now all they're interested in is, as I say, they give themselves a 100% increase in salary, whereas the public servants, I think, were getting 4%. But you give yourself 100%. And in addition to that 100%, you put another 10,000 on it for constituency expenses. And that again shows you that they're not thinking. Because, for instance, how could the town of St. George have the same allocation as St. David or St. John or others? It's just not practical because the population is not there. So these things have to be done by population, not just straight by constituency. So it just shows again that they're not thinking, they do not go into detail before they make decisions. And then we pay the price. So Sheldon, it has not been good. It's one of the worst Christmases people have spent, and they have publicly stated so. As a matter of fact, people were saying that we skipped December in 2023, went straight to January because they couldn't experience a good Christmas. The people had brought in hams. They still have the hams to sell because there was no buying power from the local people to at least have the luxury of buying a ham last year. So it has been a very devastating year, and the prospects is still not looking good because we coming to the end of January, and there's still a lot of people that have not received their salary yet. So it's I just don't understand how these people could manage and continue to manage in this way. A lot of people are hurting, and I think that they should do the decent thing and give up because they cannot manage the country. That's my view, Sheldon.
What have you been hearing from the man on the ground, the man on the street in St. John? You've mentioned some of the things that have been taking place during that time. What have folks been telling you personally that they have been going through? The man that has to come out from Florida or Cloget or who is up in Loreto, what have they been saying to you?
What is this? They know that, okay, for instance, the basic things that you need, like electricity, all the relief that the NNP government put on the electricity bill was removed by the NDC administration. As a matter of fact, the electricity bill has gone up 3 times. Water, they have added tax to it. Sugar, and then who needs, you need sugar because if you're trying to make a little fudge, sugar cake, ice cream, juice, anything to make a little dollar, the price is up. And they promised that they were going to remove VAT for a year. Well, that was another pie in the sky. We're still waiting to see. And they said that they were going to eliminate poverty. But I think what they had in mind is that they want to do so by killing off the poor people, starving them to death. That's how they intend to eliminate poverty. But the people on the street is very hard. They were back to the same problems that NDC are known for. No medication in the hospitals and the health center. You go there and then you have to buy your own medications, and plus the services is deplorable now from what I've been told. So it's the person on the street. It's not. It's difficult for them. They're not having. It's not an easy life at this point in time.
Now, one of the things I recognize over the past few days, oh boy, and we seem to have lost Brother Dabrio there. Yes, I think we may have lost Brother Dabrio there. Let me see if I can get him back. Oh boy, yeah, it seems as though I lost Brother Dabrio there. Let me see if I can get Brother Dabrio back on with us. So give me one moment, folks.
A place that is under the sun, 133 square miles.
Let me just make sure, Brother Dabrio, are you there? Hello?
I tell you, this is a paradise. A lot of people don't know we have nutmeg and cocoa. That is how we came the Isle of Spice. So in 1974, Uncle Gary fought for so. That is when we became.
All right, I think I've got Brother Dabrio back with us. Brother Dabrio? I'm not hearing you. You may need to unmute. You need to unmute on your end. Because we. Oh yeah, I think.
Hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I was just about to ask you about the situation that obtains with. I've been seeing a post going around in relation to the road in Florida and the state of the road going up in Florida. Tell us, what was the situation with that road and what obtains? Because I believe there was a project that was in order going on to fix that road going up to Florida. What is the situation? What obtained before?
Yes, well, these projects were, most of them were even started before the election, and they just seem to be in a coma. I don't know why it is that if it is just post supervision from the engineers or what it is, because these projects are supposed to be ongoing and they're supposed to be supervised by the Ministry of Infrastructure. Or, well, you're hearing a lot about the Ministry of Implementation, but it seems as if that ministry has gone through, because all they're doing is painting, but they're not implementing nothing. Because implementation times, as I say, is severely overdue. And the same people in the MIT ministry, remember that they lost the money that we had to fix up all the Western Road. Mm-hmm. And then the PM said they're going to build some super highway from Sotes to St. George's so you could get there in half an hour. Another pie in the sky. But it's time that these people come down to reality and stop fooling people and say what you mean and mean what you say, because it's just total mamagism, Sheldon.
Yeah, and one of the things that I recognize, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse, is that when you pass on the St. George's bus terminal, anywhere 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you see loads of folks waiting to try to get up onto the western coast. And it is a problem that many people have been going through on the west coast to get up to the west coast on an evening time, especially considering that some of the buses don't want to run because of the detour that they have to take through Mount Moritz because of the Molyneux project. So what is the what have you been hearing from the people in St. John in relation to that particular one as well?
Yes, because it has put extra time and you have to burn extra fuel to get through this long bypass. When this present prime minister was in well, he was not in opposition. He was just a leader of the NDC during the campaign. He said that if it was them in office, it would have only taken them 2 months to fix the Molyneux Road. I have him on tape, Sheldon. Mm-hmm. They're going on 2 years now since they're in office and we still cannot use the Molyneux Road. But he went out of his way to talk about how important that Western Corridor is and the transportation there, and that they would give it priority. And he said that they would have fixed it in 2 months. Another pie in the sky, another lie, because it's still there and it's hampering us. And what is happening now is that the Marbella Road, which we had opened when the Molyneux Road had fell, to make it easier for the motorists, well, that we've noticed that is also starting to cave back in, to go back into the sea. So if they do not take immediate action, we would have to go back up through Mount Nesbitt, because the Western project had the money was budgeted in there to do this, the money that they lost. So I'm hoping he could take out some money from that super highway from St. George's to Sotes to fix the Marbella Road while they dilly-dally with the Molyneux Road.
Mm-hmm. Because the Marbella Road, that was part of the project, the project for the western, yes, the western side.
Right.
So that exactly would have been, that issue with the slippage of land in that area would have been fixed.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But they lost the funding for that.
But why it is seen to be losing funding and everything that only affecting people on the West Coast? What it is West Coast people do then? Are trying to understand. Because, okay, for instance, what I know that we now have what should be the polyclinic in St. John's. What is taking place there? From what you have heard, what is taking place there? What were the plans for that facility? Because I seem to remember quite extensive plans for that facility. What were the plans versus what is taking place there now?
Yes, well, this facility was supposed to serve the Western Corridor. We had over $500,000 budgeted to start that project. We had quite a bit of equipment that was sourced and donated from Grenadians abroad. From Dubai, Rosanna was able to get quite a lot of equipment for us. We have Baba in New York, Berlin in New York, and others sent a lot of equipment. But I understand that they took the equipment and they sent it to Carriacou and Princess Alice. So there is nothing there. And again, the MP's mom, she have done nothing to make sure that those equipment stay for the people of that she represents. She just don't be so. She don't care. Again, poor representation after we worked so hard to get that equipment. So we still do not have the 24-hour service. There is no maternity ward there that's operational. Everything there, all that happened is that they moved from where the health center was to the new facility, and that is it. All the other rooms that we have are for the x-rays, sonograms, and everything like that for maternity. That's just there. It's just like a white elephant, because they, in the campaign, was saying that's a white elephant. So I think that they want to make it a reality and turn it into a white elephant. But we would not stand for that, because healthcare is too important. And they making what they have in there available to them, their $24,000 a month, so they could fly out or go where they want. But the poor people can't do that. They can't even get a 4% increase. So think, if you all have a heart, think about that. The money was there. The past minister Lacret said that the facility was open too early. Well, how could a health facility open too early? And you were there, he was there in their 22-23 budget, right? And they had over $2 million budgeted. And last year, they spent none of that for the health center in Guelph. So I don't know what he's talking about, it open too early. But they had the money, the money was budgeted. But I mean, you could put it in the budget. But if you do not have the ways and means to implement, it's just meaningless figures. Mm-hmm. And that's what it seemed to be that they seem to be doing, just meaningless figures in the budget. And the health facility, the facility is there, but the service is non-existent. So the people on the western side, we need to have this facility up and running and operational 24/7. Because health is too important to play games with.
Now, Brother Dabrio, I often wonder about that facility, because I remember one instance. I was at the General Hospital, the old General Hospital. This was many years ago. And an individual who had been injured in a fight in St. Mark had to be brought all the way down to the General Hospital, standing with a banganet through one side of his leg and coming through the other, standing on the back of a police van coming down from St. Mark down to the General Hospital. And it was so that if there was a facility at least that you could have stabilized him on the West Coast, that he would not have had to go through the extreme pain and suffering that he had to go through at that point in time. And I know that was kind of the feeling behind that facility in St. John, so that a pregnant mother did not necessarily have to go down to St. George to give birth. They could have done it at that facility. That dental care would be available at that facility. That you get a wound, and so instead of having to rush the person down to the General Hospital, it could have been dealt with at that facility. Ultrasound, sonogram, etc., as you mentioned, ultrasound and so on, x-ray, those could have been done at that facility. So the people from St. Patrick didn't have to rush to go all the way down to town. They could have been stabilized at that facility, and if they need be, you send them down to town. But now it's just sitting there basically as a health center?
Yes, exactly. I just say, I remember there was a guy in Waltham that got a stab on his leg, and by the time he get to the general hospital, he bled to death from a simple stab in his leg. I know the Charles girl from Market Square. She had an asthma attack. They couldn't do nothing for her in the health center in Goa. When she got to Perseverance, she died. And there was another girl that I forgot her name. She used to live by Canis Walk. Same thing, asthma attack. Before you get to St. George's, you die. And it keeps happening. So this facility was supposed to alleviate these problems so that at least you could stabilize people, or if they cannot be cured right there, or deal with them in terms of wounds or accident. It's crucial that you get to a health facility within a few minutes, and this is what was supposed to happen today to that facility, and sad to say it's not happening.
Indeed, indeed. And folks, for those of you who are listening and viewing wherever you are, we're speaking with Mr. Alvin Dabrio, the former representative of St. John. But it still seems as though he's the representative because the people still coming by you. They're still coming by Brother Alvin when they're looking for little assistance. And so I know that over the years you did a lot, especially for education, for folks that going to be it primary school, secondary school, university, and so on, assisting a lot of families to go to school, and so employment opportunities, training opportunities for young people. I know that you did quite a lot of that over the years. In fact, I'm seeing some young people now, and I smile when I see them because I remember when you got them involved in programs like Imani and so on, to see them working permanently right now, it always brings a smile to my face to see that. So I'd like to congratulate you on that. Brother Dabrio, a main issue I want to touch on, the issue of housing in St. John. And I believe it's the Stony Gut project that was supposed to take place. And so because I'm hearing some kind of talk in relation to Stony Gut these days, you're hearing of how what was being said before is not the truth, and you're hearing all sorts of tie-up stories. What is the situation when it comes to Stony Gut? I believe it was supposed to be the first housing project ever for the people of St. John. What was the situation, and what is the present situation?
Yes, Sheldon, because in St. John's, we never had a housing scheme, a housing project. So, with the assistance of the housing minister at the time, Delma Thomas, she approached the Grenada Housing Authority, and they had agreed and budgeted about close to $2 million to put some housing in Stony Gut and also some in Black Bay. So we would have some in Guelph, and then the south of the parish, Concord, Gronroy, would also have that housing project. The one in Stony Gut, the piece of land there, were divided into 3 sections. The first sections was allocated for people who didn't want the housing authority to build a house for them. They were gonna get their own house, so they had the opportunity to obtain those lots. The second portion was allocated for a park and a playground for the people of the community. And the third portion, which is under the ravine, was given to Grenada Housing Authority for the housing project. We had numerous meetings and site visits, and Grenada, the architects at Grenada Housing Authority did the design for the single unit townhouses, and there was a single bedroom townhouses and 2-bedroom units. That was done. The road, the access road, and the retaining walls and the foundations was being done by the Ministry of Infrastructure. The engineer allocated to that was Mr. Williams, the Cuban engineer. He had some family issues to deal with. He started, and he had some issues to deal in Cuba. He went to Cuba to deal with it, and then he came back, and then he was working on that. Well, the election came in June, and then the budget that the NDC have for 2022-2023, they had budgeted for the $2 million for the Stony Gut project. In this last budget, in 23-24, that money was removed. And when questioned about it, the Minister of Housing, Telesford, said that the NNP administration sold the lands. And this, Sheldon, is a big, blatant, nasty lie. And the Grenada Housing Authority has the drawings, they have the lands, and the land is still there. And when Emmeline Pierre was questioning them and talking about that in the parliament, well, we had the MP for St. George. Well, you know, she has no decorum and she's very rude. And she's just sitting down in a chair yelling out that they lie. And it was she that was lying, because the lands is not sold. The lands is there for the housing project. So I don't know why it is that who she trying to fool. The lands is there. It's just because she is not prepared to work hard for the people of St. John's to make sure that they have the housing project. She's just too lazy, and she's just looking after her own development. That is why she is not working to make it a reality, and she's just there shoving it aside, and while people remain without the housing. So that's so sad. But what disappointed me the most, Sheldon, is to see Delma Thomas sitting there while Telesford and Kieran lying in Parliament. And she, Delma, know for a fact that the lands is there because she was leading the effort with the Grenada Housing Authority. But she said nothing. As they say, the upholder is worse than the thief. I couldn't stand to see her just there knowing the truth, but yet still saying nothing. And that was the person that was trying to say that they like the poor and the unfortunate. But before my grandparents used to say, when they're dead, ants go bring the news for them. But right now we're seeing it right below after dead to see the people that are hypocrite and the one that's really interested in their own self rather than the country. Very sad, Sheldon. So this blatant lie, the lands is still there. If they don't want to do the project, then say so. But why is it that you go in and lie and say that the lands were sold when the lands are still there and available for the project? I don't know why, and I wish that they would stop lying and start speaking the truth.
So
that's my take on that, Sheldon. Yes.
So you're telling me that the statement that they made, that the lands in Stony Gut, that government doesn't hold, it's been sold and so on, that is not true?
That is a lie. The lands are there for the housing project. The Grenada Housing Authority have the plans for the lands. They did the drawing, and it's still there. As a matter of fact, they have sent to clean the lands when they have put out some ads saying that they're looking for people to come in and bid on the project, and they send and they clean the lands, and it's still there. So I don't know what well, they are accustomed making these kind of grand moves in St. John. Do you remember when they just break up the health center and they leave it on the ground and they go? So it's the same. They come, they clear the lands, and they leave it right there, and they say the lands are sold. But the lands are there for the project, and we want to see they put the project because it's something that we need in St. John's.
Wow. Because, I mean, I'm trying to understand this one because as you mentioned, in the 2022 budget, that budget that was there, the lands were accounted for. You did have the situation where lands were there in the budget. The project was in the budget, and now that project has disappeared from the budget totally, and they're using that excuse that the lands are there. So I mean, I'm really trying to wrap my mind around that one. What do you mean that a housing project too good for the people of St. John?
Well, exactly. Anything for us on the western side, and they say it's so sad that we have a MP that's just not interested in working hard for the benefit of the people for St. John's. It's very, very sad. And I think, you see, the Prime Minister, I think he fire Ron Redhead, but there is a lot more people that he's supposed to fire. Not only Ron, there's a lot of them that's not doing their work, and a lot of them is lying. And as I say, it's a sad state of affairs. Because we live in a country where you have an issue where they signed a document, because those international agreements, they take precedent over your local laws. So if you're the Prime Minister, wouldn't you want to read a document before it's signed? And the thing about it is, they try to let the people think that the ambassador in Brussels signed the document. But that can't fly, because the European Union would not let the ambassador sign without the credentials from either the Prime Minister or the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And these are the only two people that could give you the credentials to sign on behalf of the country after you have cabinet approval. So for both the Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs saying that they don't know, it shows you somebody is lying. But I know Andal, and I think that I can't see Andal lying so blatantly. I think that he had to fall on the sword for somebody else. That's my take. Because I can't, as I say, I can't see it, why it is that you're going to think that you could just fool the Grenadian people so. Because on something that's so important, maybe he wanted the document signed and he just tried to find a way out to see if they could say somebody else sign it, and they don't know. But we know full well that such a document cannot be signed just by an ambassador, and you have to have cabinet approval, and the credentials have to be sent to Brussels, signed by either the Prime Minister or the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And these are the kind of people that we have leading us in government, and they have no accountability, and they just continue to lie to our people. We have Sharon Aban is still asking them for the cabinet conclusion, where he went up and he totally lied on the cabinet. How could you be chairman of cabinet and lying on the cabinet? I mean, let's say it's totally disgusting and embarrassing that these are the kind of people that leading us here. They have no integrity whatsoever.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And folks, again, we're speaking with Brother Alvin Dabrio, and we're speaking not just issues St. John, we're speaking issues all over. One of my favorite places in St. John, Cloget. What has been happening with the people up in, I know all of them tune in tonight. That's Cloget for you. I know Cloget people tune in. What has been happening in Cloget? One of my favorite areas. What have you been hearing about Cloget?
Yes, well, it's the same way. It's just the usual Cloget, Florida. Well, they even invited the MP to come up there for independence in the church service. The Adventist community invited her, and she totally refused. She didn't show up. And it's so sad. So they called me and they said, Mr. Dabrio, during your term, you always come up here. We invited her, and she just refused to come. And that's the little respect she has for the people of Cloget. And the same thing goes for Florida. I think the only place she likes to go is Gun Battle.
The fishermen, we know Guave is considered to be the fishing capital of Grenada. I know Petit Martinique does give it some good competition, but we say Guave is the fishing capital of Grenada. What have you been hearing about the fishermen? What are some of the challenges that they're facing right now? Is any assistance being given to them? What are some of the challenges that the fishermen of St. John, and in fact, not just the fishermen, but the farmers as well? Because there's a lot of farmers in same Closure, Florida, different areas. What are some of the challenges that they have been meeting?
Well, with the fishermen, we know that they have the issue with like Rumpel. You know, he came up with a design to keep, because most of the other nets, there's lots of nets around Grenada, but when they catch the jacks, if you don't, you have to get rid of it soon because it would start spoiling. Well, Rumpel came up with a system in which he would keep his bait alive. And he was also getting some business from Trinidad because it's another Carriacou country. And he only was getting the business because you could buy the bait live. But because he is not a supporter, they fight him down. And the people in fisheries do not even want to give him the proper license to continue. So this is one area that they have stagnant. And all. In other areas, you talk to the fishermen, and they were saying that they thought that things would have been better with the new administration, but they're not seeing it's not any better. And the MP had talked about all in our campaign, talk about all the things the nicey things that they were going to have for fisheries and the trainings and everything like that, and the financial management. Well, another pie in the sky, they're still waiting for that. So I hope that at least she should start getting busy and start doing the job that she was elected for. Because right now it's only traveling and like if you are here a hostess, but your constituency is in St. John, not in the air. So forget all this traveling and start working for the people, the of St. John. They need some attention. The roads, as you see, you talk all year on the roads. All the road projects are just are deteriorating. We had the Cuthbert Peters Park, the stadium. We had the money approved to join the two sections together and to put some covering at the back because the rain was coming and wetting. When I visited the stadium a few months ago in St. John, and the guy was showing me the sad state that it was in. They have all the ceiling is falling apart already. There is no maintenance of the facilities, such nice facilities there. Most of the toilets are not working. So I really think that she should forget some of the traveling and start concentrating on what she was elected for, because the fisherman is complaining. Agriculture, if you go by the market on a Saturday, a lot of people have to be going back with their goods because there was no sale. I see some people came down Christmas Eve trying to see if they could get things sale, and the place was so dead, nobody could buy. They have to go back with their produce. So it's not a pretty sight, not from our side. There's a guy named Bananas. He said that the NDC spray Grenada with Gramazone. And I think you know what he's talking about.
Yes, indeed, folks. It's 4 minutes to the hour of 9 o'clock, and I'm speaking with my good brother here, Alvin Dabrio, the former MP. But again, I keep saying it seems as though he's still the MP for St. John, because it's still the man everybody goes to when they have an issue in St. John, especially since you can't find your MP, because if your MP not out of the island when they are here, 4 hours a week, and you have to make an appointment to get a little space in that 4 hours to be able to see the MP. So it still seems as though Brother Dabs is the MP for the area. Yes. And
because
go ahead.
I was saying, Sheldon, that because I used to be in Guelph on the Wednesday, and then I still had another office in Concord that I go to on Fridays so that the people in Concord, Marigot, Grenada don't have to come up to Guav. But she has never opened the office in Black Bay, Concord, and it significantly reduced the hours of her office in Guav. So I don't know what it is that you were elected for. I wish some of our supporters would tell her the reason why she was elected and make yourself available for your constituents. Yes. Mm-hmm. I don't think that that's too much to ask.
Of course. And we even saw a situation recently where there's a problem in obtaining fuel now. While it's not a government facility, but there's now a problem obtaining fuel that's affecting many of the people up there in St. John. In fact, I was told by some of them that I don't know if it's been resolved now. I haven't heard an update on it recently, but I know there was a situation with the gas station up there. And people were telling you straight that they're parking up and take the bus and go to town if they have to go to town. Or if necessary, they're not making any unnecessary run because they're afraid. Because there's no facility in St. John to obtain fuel and so on. I mean, if you're the MP, even though it's a private facility, you try to get involved at some level to try, because it's your people that are affected by it. Yet still, I didn't hear any interest by the MP, no statements being made, anything like that, and it was affecting many other people there in St. John.
Well, of course, as I say, if you are thinking MP, because the gas station in Victoria is closed down because they're supposed to be doing some renovation. So you can't even go to Victoria. But in Guelph, at least you could make an arrangement with Ruby so that because the fishermen, there is the pumps there by the jetty in Guelph by the fish market. So some arrangement could be made so that at least people could buy gas there. Because if to say you don't have enough fuel and you have an emergency, you cannot get to St. George's or the next gas station in Sote. So, and we know how important transportation is and energy is. And that's been going on for a long time. And I remember that one day in Carriacou on Mikey Live, he was saying that there was no gas. And the MP for Carriacou, I noticed that he went on Mikey's case and everything, and because that was an issue for him up there. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't seem to be an issue for the MP in Guelph. She just don't care. So I don't know, Sheldon. It's sad because even that you can't come and try to do or even have something to resolve the matter so that the people could get fuel. Whatever the matter is, it could be resolved. But at least show some leadership, and the government, come in and show leadership to get these things resolved. Don't have the people suffering like that, and that, like you just don't care. Not because the gas station is owned by a former NDC MP. You can say that you're not getting involved. Get involved because a lot of people is hurting, because energy is very important for the development of any of the community and the industry. So please see how you all could come and show some leadership to get this thing resolved.
Of course. And Brother Dabs, we into the 50th anniversary of independence at this point in time. We've been hearing the ruling party speaking a lot about, let's come together and celebrate. And I mean, I've recognized that their words have not really been following their actions. And I'm speaking in the context here of we have somebody that lost in St. Andrew Northeast. And I realize I'm seeing them around sharing out pins and going into schools and so on. Have you been invited at any level by the MP for St. John? And especially since the margin in St. John between the two parties was nearly nil. In other words, I think it was 10 votes, 11 votes, somewhere around there. Nearly nil. Were you at any time invited by the MP for St. John to participate in any of the 50th anniversary of independence activities? Any?
Zero.
Not even to put a pin on one child?
Not even to put one pin, not even to receive one pin myself. Because you have people, are calling me and asking me for pins because they say that what they understand is that we have pins. We were given pins to give out, but that's totally false. I have not even received one, and I even see. I'm not sure if you see the same thing, Sheldon, but they have what they posted. They have yellow pins and red pins, but I'm not seeing the green ones. I see a blue pin.
No, but the pins that I've seen, the red, the yellow, and the green, that's not from the committee itself. That's a private individual that are doing their things. But the black ones that they have put out though, with the black pins that they have put out, you have not been. That's the official 50th anniversary logo pins.
No, I
have not been given any.
Or received any of them. No. That is something that they keep between themselves.
So even if they have a church service, nothing, no church service, no ceremony, no nothing, they've not invited you to anything?
I have not, no, I have not. Usually I get they send an invitation for me, but I haven't seen anything like that. I've received it last year.
Oh, you mean on the national level? But I'm speaking here, on the national level, that's one thing as a former MP. Yes, you would get that from the official, the government thing. But I'm speaking here, since they're speaking about, okay, let's come together and celebrate.
And
let's locally in St. John?
No, nothing locally. No, nothing at all. It's a one-sided celebration this year. One-sided. We're not. So
it's not a national celebration in St. John?
No, not really. Because we were going to do something of close to Cuthbert Peters Park, either on the 6th or the 7th, and we having it open for the community. Free oil down, and you buy a drink. So we're just doing that to socialize. Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen anything from the ruling party at all.
Yeah, but these are the same people that are talking about let us join together and let us come together. But this is the way that they are treating the opposition, former MPs, and so on. And yet still we see that they have people who did not win their seat, and they have these people going around into people's constituencies. They're sharing out pins, they're going in the schools. So there is no excuse why you could not have been invited to do the same in St. John. If you're speaking, let us work together and let us come together, there's absolutely no excuse why you could not have been invited to participate in some of the activities, be it a pinning ceremony, be it a church ceremony, whatever it is that they're having. If, in fact, I should ask first, are they having anything in St. John for the independence? Have you heard of anything outside of the pinnings?
I haven't. Just from what you know, usually the national thing where you have the village, the beautification, but local I am not, and then the National Colors Day, but I haven't seen or heard anything locally or received anything at the constituency level. But as I say, they would talk unity, but actions speak louder than words. The words are there, they're good at that, but the follow-up of the action is not there.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, and these
pie in the sky.
And these are the same people who want you to come out to this and come out to that and so on. But at the end of the day, this is the way that they're treating the members who are in the opposition party at this point in time. This is the way that they're treating them. I would think that if you're saying let us come together, what you would have done is you would have reached out to an Alvin Dabrio and say, well, brother Dabrio, come with me. We're going to this school on this day and we're going to shout, here are some pins. You can give out some pins to some people and so on, instead of making it a totally partition thing. So but we're not seeing that. I did hear from several people in St. John over the Christmas period of how bad things were with them for the Christmas period and that sort of thing. And you're hearing similar for the independence period right now.
Yeah, and they have so much money, record among the money budgeted, but we're not knowing where that money is going or how it's distributed. Yes.
Well, if it's 15 million, I'm hoping at least $1 million reach up.
Self-help.
Oh, my. Indeed.
They're still asking for self-help. So I don't know where that money is going, that amount of money. I'm still waiting to see.
Brother Dabs, another complaint that I have been hearing over the past 19 months, in fact, I've been hearing it for quite a while now, not the full 19, but most of the majority of the 19 months, upkeep of the playing fields. It is a problem we're hearing right around the island, but in St. John, we have been hearing of some problems. It has affected school sports in some instances. In one instance, there was supposed to be a national football match that was supposed to take place at Cuthbert Peters Park and had to be taken out of St. John's and placed down at the National Stadium and so on. What have you been hearing about that? What is taking place with some of the playing fields? Beat Loreto. I know they wanted to go and play something in Loreto, and next thing you know, they put up picture about cricket competition. I know cricket ain't playing, Loreto playing field wet and it overgrown. What is the situation?
Well, the playing fields, they made it one of their priority to terminate the contract of a very competent person that were looking after the playing field at Cuthbert Peters Park and Power Park, etc. And the football match that you talk about, that we had to forfeit it in Goa because the playing field was not up to standard. Well, there was another match, and the same guy that they fire, they had to call him to come in and work free to fix the playing field so that they would play the match in Goa. So you fire a competent person to put in a party hawk that have no experience in that aspect. And we, as a parish, are less suffering because you don't see the wisdom in having competent people to do the work. You're just interested in putting people that would support you, just write all kind of negative things on Facebook, and that's the kind of people that you want to come in and put in important positions, and the competent people, you're letting them go. And if you look at the playing fields around, they're in a very, very poor state. And we had even Mongrambi, we had the money budgeted and the contract given out to light the playing field. I understand that it was moved to a playing field somewhere in the south of Grenada, and again the MP, and I think that's where her family is from, Mongrambi, and Mongrambi voted her overwhelmingly, but she doesn't seem to care about that. They just lost that for Mongrambi. So again, I hope that she might get a little spine and come and try to fight for her constituents and for the polling division of Mongrambi that supported her very well to make sure that the playing field is lit up. She had promised in her campaign that in 90 days they were going to have redo Florida playing field. Well, it's in the worst shape it has ever been. But as I say, she don't seem to worry about those areas at all. They just want to make sure that their supporters get the contract, but there is no follow-up to make sure that the work is being done. As long as they get the money, that's what matters. But the country is not getting the benefits for the money that is being spent.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I'm trying to understand because it seems here I'm detecting a trend here. Things were in place for the people of St. John, and all of a sudden they're disappearing, and the person who should be fighting in cabinet on behalf of the people of St. John is not doing that. I don't know if it's because they're busy being on a plane, or they're afraid, or they're unable to, but we're speaking here about the equipment for the medical facility, all of the equipment and the different things that were supposed to take place there. All of that, all of a sudden go different places. No spine to stand up and say, well, okay, keep that for the people of St. John. The Stony Gut project, 1 minute it's in the budget, next minute it disappear with all kind of false excuses. you don't have the spine to stand up and say, do that. So down to the lights for a playing field as well, disappear from the people of St. John, end up in the south of the island, and the MP don't have the guts to stand up and say, no, you can't take it. That's what the people of St. John.
At all.
I mean, it's very unfortunate.
Yes. And if you have to traverse the road to Cloget, as I said, it's terrible. And like they just seem to forget that. But that's an important road, because even if you have to go to Grenville, as the road you have to use. And these projects, they've been going on, as I say, since before the election. And they just like it gone in a coma. And the supervision is not there. Where is the super MIT ministry they're talking about? They just don't seem to be worried about what's happening on the western side here at all. It's very sad.
Because again, we mentioned all of that, and again, we just mentioned the loss of the funding for the people of St. John again, with the Western Main Road project that this administration, the present administration, have lost. The Maboya Road, which seems to be, as you mentioned, slipping again. And we know once that road goes down, it's back up to passing over again. You have to go back up to Mount Granby and what do you call that area there again? You have to go around
Mount Nesbitt.
Mount Nesbitt.
Mount Nesbitt. Yes.
Yeah, back up Mount Nesbitt up and down the hill again, instead of just being able to cut across as you had organized so that people could just cut across. So it's back to that long, even longer run again to the busmen that already have to make the one through Mount Moritz.
And we look at the Mani Road. That was a road that was in progress being built. They stopped it. I traveled there a few months ago, and there is no road there anymore. The rain, the water has used the road that was cut as the drain. So you're going to cost twice as much to fix it. They just neglect it, because from there, the machines went up to cut the road from on top Market Square to the fort. Well, they just stopped it in its tracks, and the machine was supposed to go from there to cut the road in Stony Gut. But that again, they stop in its tracks. You have Mongo Road, it's impossible over a year, and they just don't seem to be doing anything about it. They just don't care. And that's right in the tongue of Gov. So I really don't know what it is that they have against us on the western side, and why is it that the MP that we have is not fighting for us so that we could keep these projects and to keep the development going. Everything is just being just dilapidated and going down. She talk about she gonna build some climate resilient sidewalks. I haven't seen her build 1 foot of sidewalk in Goa, because the project that we have was supposed to go down by the bus stop by Mayor to the health center. But where we stop for election time, that's where it is. With all the promise she make about this super sidewalk she was gonna build, not 1 foot of sidewalk. Because as I say, we were supposed to go down right, it was supposed to start right from the bus stop by Mayor there, or the opposite Mayor, go right up to the health center. So we still waiting to see those climate resilient sidewalks she spoke about. And she talked about Goa flooding because of the sidewalks. Well, I couldn't figure out what she was trying to say with that statement. But you know, they always talk about a pie in the sky. So maybe that is another pie in the sky idea that they had. And we're still waiting for it to come down from the sky to come on the ground.
Yes, indeed. Still waiting on that particular one. Oh boy, why is this thing popping up on my screen now? Nice, beautiful. Yes, so brother Dabrio, so we've spoken about the independence, we've spoken about some of the projects, but you know something, we spoke about the Western Main Road project. And you know, a lot of times I think we speak of things believing that people understand perfectly what we're referring to. give us a little insight to what the Western Main Road project had included. What was supposed to be done with that particular project that was lost by this administration? What issues was that project supposed to address for the people that are traversing the western side of the island? So what projects,
Right.
what was that project supposed to deal with? What are the issues, landslip, etc., it was supposed to address?
Yes, because that was supposed to go from Queen's Park right up to Waltham, Samaritan, in that area up there. And all the bridges that needed to be repaired, for instance, Concord Bridge is still one way. Woodford Bridge is one way. And all others were supposed to be made into two way. The areas where we had problems like coming down Marigot with the heavy waters, because we do not have enough crossings across the Marigot area. Some people would have blocked up some because they don't want the water passing through the land. And so that project was supposed to deal with that, put adequate drainage across those areas. It was supposed to deal from the place, the Bamboo in Concord, the way they call it Bamboo, to go into Concord from by Black Bay. Very dangerous for the children because they have to go to Concord School there. They were going to have a sidewalk along that area there so the pedestrians could travel on it. And the by Gronroy going up to the medical station there, that area there would have been rectified. That was also in the project. And some of the areas where you have threatening boulders or rocks to fall, we're gonna deal with all these landslips or rockfall areas, and that was supposed to go right through the western side. So we were gonna be able to have good roads, adequate sidewalks, adequate drainage, and that would have made our travel time a lot less, and also our fuel consumption would have been a lot less because you would be more efficient, because we'd have more efficient roads to traverse on. And we have lost it. And the Prime Minister, rather than going up to England, and he sent his Superman to Barbados, he said. He came back empty-handed. So we thought that as a leader, you would at least put your cap in your hand and go and say, yes, well, we need that. He was in England around back-to-back. He was there for the coronation, and then he was there soon after. He never even tried to get an audience with the Prime Minister there to see how we could get back that funding that we so desperately need. Because Cameron, when he visited Grenada and when he came to Guave, because the only place he visited was in Nutmeg Pool and the RC school in Guave, and that's when he decided to give us something on the western side. So I don't know if it's something that they don't like again for us on the west, that they just dislike, that they realize that it's not going to be a reality. So that's it again in a nutshell, Sheldon.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, they hear us talking about, the Western Main Road project, the Western Main Road project. But I think it's only now that they finally understand what has been lost there. Not just redoing the road, but the bridges and dealing with the rock fall, those areas that you have the rocks falling every now and again, and all of the sidewalks that had to be done. All of this has been lost, and it's not lost by the New National Party. It was lost by this administration. You were the one walking in St. John with Dave Cameron. and strange enough, Dave Cameron is now the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He's the Foreign Minister of the present administration there in the UK. And at some level, maybe they need to try and re-engage with him to see if he could talk them into
Yeah, that's what I would advise the Prime Minister, the present Prime Minister. If you love this country and you love us on the western side, show us. Go up there and ask back for the money so that we could have good roads going down there, not telling us about this pie in the sky super highway from Sutton to St. George's in half an hour. let it be a reality, because this was funding that was promised us. So I don't see it being too difficult to go talk to Cameron to see how we could get the money back, because it's something that we need. We need it for our development. So please, Mr. Prime Minister, send your miracle MIT man. Well, I know he failed in Barbados, so maybe you should go yourself and see what you could do for us on the western side, because the money was lost under your watch.
Yeah. And they speak about implementation rate and so on, and it's because I'm trying to figure out what did they want to be done during the years 2020. You returned to office in 2018. Yes, you started work on 2019. The drawings and everything were being put in place, and you had to do your soil testing and all of that. So those things would have started in 2019. 2020 and 2021, you basically had COVID-19. Hardly anything. You couldn't even get consultants to come into the country or to go. It was difficult to travel, everything. So I'm trying to figure out, when they speak implementation rate, if they forgot about COVID, if they forgot those 2 years.
Right, but they haven't had to deal with COVID under their time. So what is the implementation for Mong Millet, Matawan, Rosemount, the Waterloo Bridge, the retaining wall by Shipper School, the Closure Road, that right up by the junction by William there, between the Belvedere Junction, that road there again, going on 3 years. What happened to them in implementation? They just forget about all these things while people have to, weave and deave on the road there. I mean, I just cannot understand. And they're talking about implementation and implementation rate, but I guess, I don't know what it is that I've not seen anything being implemented at any super speeds.
But Brother Dabrio, I think one of the things they've been very good at implementing, they have a perfect implementation rate, a 100% implementation rate when it comes to salary increases for themselves.
For themselves, yes.
A 100 implementation rate of how to be disrespectful, because, of course, whether we're big dogs or big boys or commoners, they have a 100% implementation rate of how to be disrespectful to the Grenadian people, 100% implementation rate of how not to provide for the Grenadian people, 100% implementation rate on how not to do anything for the Grenadian people, just ignore you and avoid you and jump play. I mean, implementation rate on getting ticket to go overseas, they're at 100% there as well. So they have a high implementation rate, but it's in what areas?
Yes, as I say, in travel and things like that, and being disrespectful in Parliament, they're good at that.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah. In terms of development, they fail.
Yes. Well, Brother Dabrio, it's quickly coming up to the 9:30 hour. I know I told you I would have you on for an hour, and I already have you on for over an hour. I know you have other things that you must go and do. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to wrap. Now, I think we only see the top of your head now. So we're going to give you an opportunity now to speak to the people of St. John, speak to the people of Grenada as we close off for tonight.
Yes, well, Sheldon, it was my pleasure being on the program. I am happy that at least I could have come in to clear the air on the truth about the housing project in Stony Gut. And it's a project that we need, and I wish that the MP would at least start taking us seriously and start taking our job seriously and start showing some leadership for the constituency and get the job done. The health center is a beautiful facility, lots of rooms for X-ray, everything, and the X-ray rooms are totally insulated for radiations and built to the high specs. Please, We tired suffering having to go all the way to St. George's for simple medical attention. And it's something that you promise. So don't let that be another pie in the sky. We want to have this facility up and running 24/7 with all the different facilities in there for the people of the western side of Grenada. The roads in the constituency, terrible. All the construction work that started since before 2022, it's still there. Like they're not seeing any leadership. Like there is no time limit to finish these projects, and people have to be traveling there on a daily basis. So please get up and do something about that. You have the people that can't afford to get this, to pay their CXCs and other things like that. We had a policy of no kid left behind. Please, I'm begging for these people because I know they keep coming to me and asking for help. Now you're getting $10,000 a month to help them. So please help these people and do what you were elected for because you wanted it. Well, I'm not sure if you wanted it or they wanted you to get it because they needed numbers from the government, but you are there now. The game is over. It's time for seriousness, and the nation is hurting. So stop jumping and playing and stay and work for the benefit of our constituency and for our country. Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you for the listeners. It was my pleasure being here, and I want to wish everyone a good night and pleasant dreams, and let's have a wonderful independence.
So oil down by you on the 6th?
Yes, we're doing that. Either the 6th or the 7th, but we'll finalize it very soon and advertise it. But we want to do something in our community because we are about community and country. Thank you. Okay, and before you go, Brother Dabrio, just one, and several of the listeners have sent their sympathy to you on the passing of your mom. We know the funeral has not taken place as yet. It's supposed to be next week, I believe, a week after. It's on the February 12th. February 12th. So that's the following Monday. Monday, yes, Monday right. After the Independence holiday. All right. At Guava RC Church. Guava RC. And your mom died at what age? She died at 101, and yes, because she would have been 102 in February. Wow, wonderful. And so our sympathy from the Talking Points family. I'm getting WhatsApp messages, I'm getting Facebook messages, I'm getting statements on YouTube saying to make sure and pass on our sympathies to Brother Dabrio. So the funeral will be on Monday the 12th at the Guava RC. Monday 12th of February. Yes, at 1 o'clock. Okay, great. All right, my brother. So thank you so very much, and do enjoy the rest of your night. And we need you down home soon, eh? Yes, the pleasure was mine. Thank you. Well, right. I'm getting to do some of the engineering work that you love. I didn't do while I was in government. So I'm back at my old job. So I'm enjoying it. But right. At the same time, I enjoyed serving the people. And I'm looking forward to serving them again. But every time you go to Goa, I think as you said you get to love doing the engineer. You're what type of engineer? Telecommunications engineer. A lot of people may know you and they know Mr. Dabrio and they know WeFM, but they don't know that, They don't know that you are a qualified telecommunications engineer. Yes, that's my profession, yes. All right. So once again, Thank you very much and have a wonderful night, sir. Much appreciated. All right. Yes, indeed, folks. We have been speaking there with Brother Alvin Dabrio. Brother Alvin Dabrio has been on with us tonight on Talking Points, and we just like to tell him once again, thank you so very much for being on with us tonight. And what I'm going to do for the next half hour, I will open the phone lines. Because of how the system has been giving that problem recently, I was unable to take your phone calls while he's on it. But knowing Brother Dabrio, he is listening. So in case anything, we could always get him to call back in. So we will open the phone lines at this time, 440-7377.
and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside. So you have heard it directly from the gentleman's mouth. We ain't calling nobody no horse. You heard it directly from the gentleman's mouth himself. Yeah? Lie in relation to the issue that the lands that government sold off, the lands in Stony Gut that are to be used for that housing project. Yeah? And again, it gets to the point of, why are the people of St. John being treated that way? Why are the people on the West Coast being treated that way? I find it to be very, very unfair to them. We have a call on the line. Hello, good night.
Good night to you, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
Hi, good night, sir.
And good night to Mr. Dabrio. And I sent sympathy to him already, but I did not see him in person yet to speak to since the death of his mother. I feel proud today, Mr. Scott. This morning I heard Miss
Sister Pierre.
And this afternoon or tonight I hear in Mr. Dabrio. Welcome. And I think we need to do more of that to the NMP. NMP need to have the more talking point with our leaders, with our politicians, and to clear the air. You see what you have done there tonight, Mr. Scott? You have cleared the air of a serious mistake that was made in Parliament. The minister made that statement that the lands have been sold. Now a minister going in Parliament and making that statement without having those kind of facts is craziness.
And even worse, Clifford, is that even worse than that is that the minister made the statement and there were two people there on their side that could have either just pinched them or pass a note to say, hey, you're making a mistake, and they did not do it because the former minister of housing is on their side. The former minister of housing is on their side and could have told them that what they're saying is untrue.
Well, the former minister of housing, as far as I'm concerned, she is my very good friend. But I'm heavily disappointed, because she sits in the Parliament and a lot of things that she nod her head to, she knows wrong. She was there last week, pinning, we're looking at a plaque, setting up a plaque, and in Dunfermline, and she know that they have 4 candidates contesting the election, and they invite 2 and Miss Sincere, and then invite the others who she knew wanted to sit together with her. So I mean that's craziness, But I'm feeling happy to know that the NMP as a party coming out now and speak and let people hear their voices. The next place I want to hear it is that the parliamentary representatives on the government side, on the opposition side, must write to the integrity in public life and explain to them all what happened and get some information from them. I will hope that from now, the people like the ex-prime minister and the other persons who want their seat write to the integrity in public life and explain to them what is happening. Because, we're getting too much lies. For a minister, the prime minister said that he have a cabinet conclusion. And to date, they're asking him for it and he can't present it. And a minister is stating that lands are sold so they can't do the project in Guam again. And here we're hearing something different. If the lands are sold, then the government collect that money. We must know where the lands are sold, who collect the money, and to who the lands are sold. So the NAP have to wake up. And I'm glad they're waking up.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother.
Good.
All right. And we lost that caller on the overseas line. You can call back. Folks, you can also call us on WhatsApp. And the number there is the same as the landline number, 440-7377. So you just save that number into your phone and then you can call us via WhatsApp. That's 1473-440-7377. Yeah. So yeah, and I think a lot of folks, they constantly hear about the Western Main Road project and they don't know what that project included. And I think it was important what Brother Dabrio did, where he was able to explain what that project, the changing over some of those bridges, in particular those bridges that are basically one like Concord, where it's basically one lane traffic at a point in time, and so that those bridges can be changed over, and sidewalk and different things like that. And very important when it comes to the land slippage, those boulders that come down when you have extensive rain. Sometimes not, you don't even have rain, but you realize that the land just move and you have boulders coming down every now and again and things like that. In fact, it was after you passed St. John going for St. Mark a few years ago, there was a situation where this gentleman, he just by a bus, in fact, first week by the bus coming down on the West Coast, and a boulder came down and broke the windscreen. Yeah? Came down, bam, break the windscreen. Right? I think at that point in time, government assisted and helped him to get back the windscreen and so that he was able to conduct his business, but less than a week. And all of those things are what this project is supposed to deal with. This project is supposed to address problems like that, and they've lost it. We have a caller on the line. Hello? Hello, caller? Caller on the WhatsApp. Hello, good night. Oh dear. It seems as though we lost our caller on the WhatsApp. You'll have to call back, caller. I'm not too sure what is going on with our WhatsApp machine tonight. I wonder if it... Hello? Hello? Okay, we lost them, yeah. Give us a call back, yeah? 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. You can call us on either of those numbers, and you can call us on WhatsApp. Hello, good evening.
Sheldon, good evening.
Hi, evening. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yes,
Sheldon,
go right ahead.
we've heard a lot from Mr. Dabrio. Based on what we have heard from Mr. Dabrio, could anybody now see what the NDC supporter said? Nothing is being done in Guelph. Could anybody now say that he's lying?
He's not the one lying.
Well, no, because he is being ridiculed. He is being ridiculed for saying what he said. So I'm asking the question now. Hearing it from Mr. Dabrio, we first heard it from an NDC supporter saying nothing is being done in the constituency of St. John. So I'm saying now, could we honestly say that the gentleman lied as it relates to what he said? Nothing is being done. We hear it from our former minister, Alvin Dabrio.
Well, we have to
when
call him.
Something is wrong, it is wrong.
We have to call him the shadow minister because, like, he's the minister up there right now still.
Well, yes, he's the minister.
We can't even say former.
Visiting him.
We can't say
well,
former.
Let me correct myself. The minister, the current minister,
but
the
caller,
present minister.
Caller, you're absolutely correct. Huh? You're absolutely correct. Because there have been people attacking the individual that spoke about what is taking place.
Yes.
Well, not what is taking place, what is not taking place in St. John. And the man is a known supporter of the National Democratic Congress.
Exactly.
And now it's been confirmed. It's been confirmed on the other end now by the Mr. Alvin Dabrio.
Charlotte, I know the gentleman just as how I know you. And I was taken aback when I heard him. And he's been ridiculed now. He's been lambasted now by members of the NDC, saying that he should not say that. But truth is truth. The gentleman speak the truth. Nothing is happening in St. John. And we have to face it. So let me hear now what they would say as Minister Dabrio say it as it is. if I can recall clearly, yesterday morning, I think it was, on Shaggy program, a gentleman called and speak about the road by what we call Matuan Bridge. The gentleman call and speak about it. The Monmillet Road. Since before election, that road started. Since before election, that road started. The up to go by Shepherd School up there. Since before election, closure, since before election, I can only speak about the area I know about firsthand. So when the gentleman say nothing is happening, he's absolutely right. Nothing is happening. And NDC supporters accept the fact nothing is happening in St. John. And don't try and crucify the gentleman because he come out and say nothing is happening. He said nothing is happening. You all that criticizing him, say what is happening. Come forward and say what is happening. Then we will know that something is happening. But all for now, we know that nothing is happening. Mr. Dabrio, thank you very much. The land walk up, the land walk, Bush go back in it, he go walk again.
All right, my dear. Thank you so very much for your input.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dabrio, my MP. And that is who you would always be, my MP. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, thank you. Right, folks, 44073. And for those who are calling on the overseas line, I had mistakenly had it engaged. It's free now, so you can call in. Those of you that were trying to reach us on the overseas line, yeah? I did get a message, one or two people were trying to reach us on the overseas line, and I had accidentally engaged it. So you can call now. So that's for those of you who are calling from North America, 347-329-3101. And those of you calling locally, you can call us on 440-7377. And you can also call us on the WhatsApp on 440-7377. You can give us a call via the WhatsApp there as well. Yeah? And that's the thing here. The lambasted the man when he spoke out and he said, well, look what is taking place in St. John. Well, not what is taking place. The lack of anything taking place in St. John. Yeah? And he was lambasted for speaking the truth. He was lambasted for speaking the truth. All right? Yeah. So phone lines are open, 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. All right, folks, remember, this Saturday it's taking place. That's the breakfast sale on behalf of our good brother Wayne. That's Turkey. That's going to be at the NNP branch office out there in La Sagesse and David, starting from 6 a.m. We've got a call on the line. Hello, good night.
Hello.
Hello, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Yes, good night. Good night.
Hi.
How are you doing, Sheldon?
Hey, I'm quite fine. Very well. You proceed, yeah.
Well, I'm a regular listener to your program.
Okay.
And I could say how pleased I am with the work that you are doing.
Okay.
And I've listened to Mr. Dabrio tonight, and I could tell you, this man has done a wonderful job in St. John's. And hats off to him. This gentleman has done his fair share, and I don't think St. John's could ask for anything more. St. John's, the Stony Gut project in St. John's, if anyone remembers Stony Gut, that was a track, just a walking trail from Central on to the other side that goes to Doxabel. And Minister Dabrio did a wonderful job by creating a roadway to this area where two vehicles can pass in both directions. And I don't think we could ask for more. The people of St. John's cannot ask for more. Mr. Dabrio, he put sidewalk on the area of Cork, on both sides of the road, so that people now no longer walk on the streets. As a result of what he has done, it creates avenues for people to use for other things rather than it's what it was intended for. You will see now vehicles parking on the sidewalk. You will see people selling on the sidewalk, hindering people from using this area for what they were meant for. And you know what's bad about this thing? The police will be passing and they will see those people they're selling, says nothing to them. They'll be seeing vehicles parking on the sidewalk, says nothing to them. And what happens, you're going to hear some people saying, oh, listen, the NNP did nothing in Grenada, nothing in St. John's. I have to say, kudos to Mr. Dabrio for a job well done. He will be back. I tell you, he will be back. Just as NNP will be back. Have a good night, gentlemen.
Thank you so very much, caller. Yes, indeed. And you always should hear some of the plans he have for the next term. Yeah, man. Wow. Don't worry, man. When the time comes, you could talk it. 44073, making sure, 4407377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah? And listen, you measure the work of Alvin Dabrio and you measure that up against any MP that you had for St. John before, and you realize he's miles ahead, yeah, for the wonderful work that he has done in St. John. And so, just the the week of the election, not even a couple months after the week of the election, I heard some people from St. John, just overheard them speaking on a bus, and they were like, we vote out Dabrio, How we could do a thing like that? That is what we do, Like they're just catching up themselves what they did, because they're just realizing what they lost. Yeah? So I heard them and it's were like, we vote out Dabrio, But what the hell? Because they didn't think what they were doing before, and now they're seeing the consequences of what they've done. Yeah? That there's no one there that is fighting on behalf of the people of St. John within the cabinet of Grenada, within the government of Grenada. There's nobody there fighting on behalf of the people of St. John. So that when they bring the bread on the table and they start to share, there's nobody there that says St. John must get its fair share of that bread. So that's why you could see lights that's supposed to go up in St. John disappear from St. John and end up in South St. George, and the MP just grinning. That is why you can see a situation where you have the health facility there, and that health facility should basically be a mini hospital operating for the West Coast, so that if somebody is sick from St. Patrick, instead of having to bring them right down to St. George, right down to town, you could have brought them to that facility. At least stabilize them according to the seriousness. You would have been able to stabilize them there, and there are certain procedures that you would be able to do at that facility. So instead of you having to speed down, somebody is in childbirth, and you have to rush down now, so you have to go down to St. George. Whether you're in St. Mark or you're in St. Patrick or wherever sometimes, and you see the speeding heading down because they're trying to reach down to the general hospital, flashing hazard light running down. That there are rooms set up and equipment, everything was organized for the facility in St. John that ought to have been there, so that the people of St. John and the people of St. Mark and the people of St. Patrick, that these people would have had the use of that facility in case of emergency. But if you have nobody that's willing to stand up in cabinet and stand up for the people of St. John and stand up for the people of the West Coast and stand up for the people of St. Patrick, if you have nobody that's willing to stand up in cabinet on their behalf and say, hey, you have to outfit it. Not that you should consider, but that you have to outfit that facility for the people of St. John and St. Mark and St. Patrick, the people on the West Coast, that you had to treat them better than that, so that people don't have to be speeding in vehicles. I'm sure if you're looking on the West Coast Road right now, there must be a vehicle coming down, heading to the General Hospital for some problem. And I did mention to you all, and you'd realize outside has begun to get a little hazy already, that there is quite a significant amount of Sahara Desert dust coming across the region, the lower Antilles, lesser Antilles, so that we will be seeing worsening conditions with the dust over the next few days. So if you are asthmatic or you have other respiratory problems or so on, you need to make sure that you have your medication. You take the precautions that are necessary. If you need to wear a mask or whatever, but take the precautions that you need to take. Yeah, but be aware that the atmosphere is conducive to you getting ill over the next few days. But you have had situations of people dying. Yeah, people dying, people that otherwise these people would have been able to get treatment right there in St. John if they had done what they're supposed to do. But you heard from Brother Dabrio, the stuff that was supposed to be there ended up down at the General Hospital, end up in Princess Alice, end up in Carriacou. Yeah? And we're not saying that these places are not deserving. But they have to also ensure that the people of St. John get their fair share. And that is not taking place. It's like they don't have an MP. Because number one, the MP always out. And secondly, when they're there, they do absolutely nothing for the people of St. John. I'm making you, Brother Dabrio, I hope you're girding your loins, because it means that when you come back in, you have additional work that you're going to have to do, So I hope that you're girding your loins in preparation for the work ahead, because it's a lot more that you're going to have to do when you come back in. Yeah? And that means that you, the people of St. John who are listening tonight, have to make sure that you are registered and that you are ready. And that you cannot stay away. Because if you stay away from the polls, it means that you are part of the problem. Remember how close the figures were. So every single vote counts. So you can't decide that you're sitting the next one out. Yeah? You can't decide that you're not bothering to go and register and so on. And then when the time comes, an election day itself, and you realize, no, I need to go and vote, and then you can't because you're not registered. So we need to ensure that you get registered. NNPites, lovers of Grenada, get registered. And not just you, but get your friends, your co-workers, your relatives. Yeah? Get them registered. Remember, it is not the New National Party that holds the reins to ring the bell when that time comes for a general election. The Prime Minister could get up tonight and go by the Governor General and decide he calling an election, and within the next 90 days we have a general election. Well, 90 working days minus the holidays and weekends. Yeah? So the next 90 days we could have a general election within the next 3 months. It could happen. So it is up to us to make sure that we are ready in case something like that happens. That you are not caught with your boots off. Yeah? That you are ready. So make sure that you are registered. But not just that. You have to be vigilant as well. So you need to keep your eyes on the voters list. And you have to make sure that who is there supposed to be there. Look at the voter. You've seen some strange names. Find out who they are. Especially if they're in the same polling division, so they might be in the same village or whatever you are. Find out who these people are. Do they really live there? Do they legally qualify to be a voter in that constituency? Because I'm telling you, I heard of some stuff that take place in St. John last election, and people came on social media and boast about what they do. They came on social media and they boasted about some of what they did election day in St. John. So don't think that what happened in St. John happened just so. But the same token, those of you who have wandered far away, it's time to come home. Yeah? Those of you, for whatever reason, made that decision that has placed Grenada and that has placed St. John and has placed the people of the western side of the island in the precarious situation that they are in right now. Those of you that may have contributed to that by putting your ex in a particular place and making the wrong decision the last time around, the time will come sooner rather than later when you'll have the opportunity to correct that decision that you have made before and put the X in the right place for the right person who will speak on your behalf, who will ensure that St. John and St. Mark and St. Patrick, that all the people of Grenada on a whole are treated fairly and correctly, and would not be interested in 100% implementation rate for their salary, 100% implementation rate for them traveling, 100% implementation rate for getting different opportunities for their friends and family members. But who would be interested in 100% implementation rate in uplifting the people of Grenada? Yeah? So folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. We want to thank again our good brother Alvin Dabrio for being on with us tonight. It's always wonderful to have a chat with brother Alvin. He's one of my favorite people. My good brother Alvin. So in whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. Love each and every one of you, and we'll be back tomorrow night with more Talking Points for you from 8 p.m. Yeah, remember to tune in, YouTube, Facebook, in Carriacou, via 92.9, in New York, We Noise Radio 94.9, and the website. Make sure that you tune in. My name is Sheldon Scott, and I am out of here, and I'm going to leave you all with, it is the Independence time, yeah? So we're going to play a local Independence thing as we're heading out. Nice? Good, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Na, 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 na. Whoa. Dr. Rod, turn it up for Grenada. Yeah. My land that you celebrate 50. Some call you a little baby. Others say you Johnny come lately. Oh, yo. But they don't know about your history. All the things you have been through was too much for you. Yet you had resilience to stand them. Revolution, intervention, and coup. Yet you produce some beautiful children. This is the land that has famous people like Junior Murray. This is the land under St. Peters and Champion Kirani. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot let of my birth. Let's celebrate. Oh, yeah. 50, it will be great. This is the land. We produce people like the mighty sparrow. This is the land. Randy Isaac, Becky, we did a jamo. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot let of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, it will be great. We don't talk much about your troubles. No, no. You have been through many struggles. That's true. Yet you rose up from the rubbles. Yeah, yeah. Proving resilience as a people. Storms and hurricane. Yet you came back again. Even COVID-19 couldn't stop you. So much destructive human try to destroy this island. Yet we're standing strong as a nation. This is the land. Let's remember the godfather of this country. This is the land. The right honorable Eric Matthew Gary. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot let of my birth. Let's celebrate. Oh, yeah. 50, it will be great. This is the land. Yeah, Mary Shokit, Mitchell, and Deacon. This is the land. Some strong leaders that come from this island. Land of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, we cannot let of my birth. Let's celebrate. 50, it would be great. Big celebration for my little island. Let's celebrate. Oh, let us celebrate. Big celebration for my little island. Let's celebrate. Whoa, whoa, let us celebrate. Let's celebrate. 50, we made it to half a century. Let's celebrate. Whoa, whoa. day, land of my